So I do have some pre-service announcements, but when I was sitting in the back in between all the busyness of a Sunday morning, I was just sitting in my office and looking out the window for a brief second, and it just came upon me to just give the gift of the morning. That's the words that came. So I would like us all to just kind of take a collective breath. There's a lot that's happened this week. There's a lot that continues to happen. I find myself saying often, life is for the living. And change and change and change keeps occurring. And some of us are getting ready to get our children back on the bus, back to school this week. There's the buzz of the fair. There's things that are happening here. And so just taking a moment as a community to just set in the gift of the moment, of the day. And realize what a precious, precious treasure that is. And as we talk about treasures and things of importance, I will offer you some pre-service announcements now. September, there's a lot coming. Prosperity classes are starting soon, so if you would like to be a part of that, please sign up in the Welcome Center. Get your book. We'll need your email address so that we can send you the course material, and we're going to work through that as a community. There are 2 times which you can sign up, one in person and one in Zoom. I guess through all of this, really, it's important through September for you to check out your emails and visit our online calendar to see the upcoming events, because from there we have the World Day of Prayer. That's on the horizon, and we're doing an outdoor prayer display and vigil this year, so we'd like everybody to be a part of that. And then going forth from there, right after the chicken barbecue, which I'm going to bring, Miss Patty Oatman up to talk about, we have the Westcott Street Festival, which is really our only tabling event of the year. It's the only time that we really go out and talk about what Unity is, who we are, and what we offer. So we will be sporting our new t-shirts, so we'd like everybody to have one of those if you plan on joining us. And those can be purchased, ordered downstairs in the Welcome Center as well. So I'm going to invite Patty up to speak on the chicken barbecue. And then right after that, Deb Warner has something she'd like to say about an upcoming fundraiser and event, so if you want to just follow in line.
Yep. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I bet all of you have been listening and following up with your prayers, but here we go. Additional sign-ups are downstairs, because we're really expanding opportunities to fundraise at the barbecue this year. There's going to be baked goods sale on top of the brownies that go with the dinner, parrot pictures. Anybody want a picture with a parrot?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, in the shirt sale. And you can also sign up for flyer distribution. Any musicians just that, like Don has brought his banjo in years past. If anybody just feels the need to express themselves musically, just let me know. And don't forget those barbecue prayers, and to tell everyone you see, talk to, text, Facebook, Snapchat, to come to our chicken barbecue. I was at the gas station and pumped gas. Anybody else pumping gas heard about the chicken barbecue? And they go, no, I work every year.
And we have new signs coming.
Yep, and there'll be signs to distribute. So sign up if you're helping with the distribution of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, everybody. Happy Labor Day weekend. So, besides our artistic and culinary opportunities, as Mark mentioned last week, we're getting ready to start rehearsals for our next Readers Theater. So, first rehearsal is this coming Friday the 5th at 2 o'clock here at the church downstairs. If you haven't let Mark or I know that you're interested, please send us an email, or I'm going to be down in the Welcome Center for a few minutes So you can let me know that, and I'll catch your phone number and your email address. And there are a few people who can't make it on the 5th for the first read-through. That's okay. We'll catch up with you somehow, but the scripts are in, and we will be featuring ghosts, aliens, and a murder. So happy Halloween.
Thank you, Deb. All right, and as we invite our musicians up, when we get ready for this morning, remember to just give yourself the gift of the day.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sally Dulcich. I'll be doing music along with my team that I'd like to come up now if they would. I'm so excited that we have a few new members. Our beloved Nancy Hazard is now singing with us, and we have a wonderful new Jason as an addition. So keep in mind, if you'd like to be a part of this group, please feel free to do so. So I had picked an opening song before this tragedy in Minnesota took place this week, and it just didn't feel like I could start my day with joy, even though I'm working very hard on finding it and throughout all of this. So we've picked some songs. We're not even going to ask you to stand up, but one of the things I got this morning from a text from someone that said that today you are standing on holy ground, so walk in it. So I was thinking about the windows that were blown out during the course of this terrible tragedy. Beautiful windows just like ours. So this is what I would like to do today. I would like to send enough love and peace and healing and comfort and joy back out through our windows to them, to those people that have suffered an unimaginable loss, those people that are living in sorrow and grief. And we are going to raise this, and we are going to sing these songs, and we are going to send them the love that they need and the love that only God can provide. yes, yes, make a better place. Would you all stand and then we can recite our statement of being? God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. Take a moment and greet your neighbor. Wave hello. Spread a little love today.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hi. Hi.
And then please have a seat as you feel comfortable doing. You all look so beautiful today. Something about the sun shining through these windows. We're going to ask Marty to read our daily word today, Sunday, August 31st, 2025. Just prepare your hearts. This is quite a message for today.
Our daily word for today is healing. I use uplifting words to support my healing. Teacher asks students to draw self-portraits surrounded by rays of sunshine and swords radiating from their hearts. The rays represented afflicting words. The swords symbolized the hurtful ones. This exercise powerfully illustrated that words can heal or harm. Today, I commit to using words that affirm my divinity. I receive these sentiments into my heart, acknowledging their truth. I release any words that do not uplift me. I heal myself by using words of kindness and encouragement. I will also be mindful of the way I speak to others, choosing words that soothe, strengthen, and affirm. I honor the light within everyone, and I help create a healthy, compassionate world. My child, attentive to my words, do not let them escape from your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they are life of those who find them, and healing all their flesh. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 22.
Thank you, Marty. And now it's time for our 5 basic principles. And you know, our 5 basic principles do act like a tether from our spiritual to our practical application. And we'd like to invite our beloved Ed Hazard to come up to the stage and offer his reflection.
Well, I got a list this time. I probably won't look at it. I probably won't look at it because I'll get lost. No. The 5 basic principles, when I think about them, they encompass a lot, and I've got to keep this to just a couple of minutes. I mean, the 5 basic principles bring in, everything in life, our life, in the world, in the universe, in our entire life. So what they are, I'll do the short version. Principle 1 is God is. God is all. Everything is God. Second, I am. I was created by God in God's likeness and by God. Third principle, I think. That's a scary one. I'm a co-creator with God. I create reality. I co-create reality, which is it real or is it not? But I think. Fourth one, I pray, and I love this one because I pray gets us back to center. It grounds us to the divine that we are and reminds us of who we are to get us through this physical world. And the fifth principle is I do. And it's because you can't just say things, you gotta show this by doing these things. But I do. When I hear that, I think, is there a wedding? I guess there's just a wedding. I do makes me feel like I'm just married to God. I live my life now with God, and God gave me choice, and I may not be, I'll stay together, but I may go off on my own path rather than following God's yellow brick road. I'll probably go down a dirty path once in a while, and there's things that you would have to pay, and it would take longer, life would take longer down that way. But I do, just reminded me of marriage more than a doing something. I'm trying to keep this short, but I have to get this in here. I've been on a kick with the first principle, God is all. This is my main thing. I know that as truth. It's all God, good, bad, black, white, soft, hard, whatever. It's all God. The third principle, I think, I wake up every morning. I open my eyes and I look out the bedroom window and I see a tree. It's a thin pine tree. It's 70 foot tall. It's in this corner of our yard. And I see that. The 70 foot tall tree I see through a 4 foot window. And I go, wow, how is that? And so I take my finger and my thumb and I put it in front of me and I put that tree in there. And I go, wow, this is 70 foot. Can you see that? There's a 70 foot tree in there. I think, well, I get ego. Ego comes in and says, do the math, and you can do the math. You can use numbers and the angles and all of that. These are created by us, our co-creation on this earth. Are they real, or it's just a thing? So if I walk towards the 70-foot tree, it gets bigger and bigger. The tree, if the tree could see and sees me coming towards it, I get bigger and bigger. But as I walk towards the tree, I feel smaller and smaller. How can this be? How can I be getting smaller and bigger at the same time? That's creation. It's not real, and it is real because it's all God. It's all God, and I just love that it's all God. That's all I got to say.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for that. I think about the scripture that God's love is as far as the east is from the west. It never ends. There's no catching it up to it. So big or small, we know who we are. And now I would like to ask our wonderful Barb to come up as our prayer chaplain today and lead us in prayer over the prayer requests that are in the box and on our hearts.
First of all, I see there's a lot of new faces today, and I just would like you to know that we have a prayer chaplain available before and after service every week. So if you're in need of prayer downstairs after service, there's a little room. It's like a little chapel. You can go in there and have a private prayer with a prayer chaplain. So anyways, I would like everyone to just put their hands on their heart today. And let's just start out with a moment of silence for all those victims of violence in this world. we send out love. And just imagine that they are enfolded in God's loving presence. And as we do that, we take a moment to acknowledge these prayers in this prayer box. Prayers that are put in here have energy that is in want of healing, abundance, whatever it is. We know that God is working in divine time. These prayers are answered. We know that as we walk in this world, let us walk with love. Let us project out kindness, peace. Everything that we do, let it be a reflection of the light within. And so it is we say, thank you, God, for your graciousness, for your love, and for your presence in everything. And so it is. Amen. God is, I am right here, right now. God is, I am right here, right now. Sing it with us. God is, I am right here, right now. God is, I am right here, right now. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Oh Lord, prepare me. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you. One more time, no music, just our voices. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Happy Sunday, y'all. Day of the month. And finishing out our Plot on Film series today with the Da Vinci Code. How many people have seen this film at some point? Yeah, a lot of people did. It was a worldwide blockbuster. More than made its money back at the box office. Some really great A-list material people in there. Got Tom Hanks, Audrey Tautou, always wonderful to see her, and Ian McKellen. Something about this movie was electrifying to people. It swept the world. And of course, it also created quite a bit of pushback from established authorities who said, don't see it, which is always great marketing. Whether it's for your heavy metal album or your blockbuster film. Nothing like mom and dad and the grown-ups telling you you can't watch something to make you want to take an interest in it. And I think that gesture right there is a really important piece for understanding the overall picture, the bigger phenomenon that's in play here. It was an entertaining movie, very long, for those of you who tried to watch it again in preparation for our series. I've already heard that from a few people. A long scavenger hunt, escape room, rock'em sock'em adventure / university lecture for quite a bit of it. And whatever it is about the phenomenon of the Da Vinci Code that captured the attention, it certainly wasn't the historical accuracy of the material being presented. And me being who I am, I will walk us through a piece of that, but I'm trying not to dwell in the lecture hall facility piece of that, and more about what it does for us spiritually. Clearly there's energy moving. Clearly there's a call, a question, a feeling that needs to be addressed, and that this was in some way coming up to meet. That's why it captured the attention and the imagination the way it did. There is an uncomfortable reality that Dan Brown's book and Ron Howard's film spoke to, that the Christian tradition, the various incarnations of the church in various forms in different places, that the message of the gospel and the spiritual truths that people sense being important, the characters and figures in those stories to whom that they have an emotional tie to, that somehow the wedding of that tradition to the powers of world empire, which happened very early on in the institution of the church coming into the world, has somehow left some gaps, to be generous. That prophetic figure of Jesus, who proclaimed a truth of each individual's inseparability from the creator source, Father God, and whose career was entirely against the priesthoods and political authorities of his day, to the extent that they eliminated him because of his career. He was then, not long after, taken up by some of those same powerful institutions to become their mascot. And in that tension and that inversion, we sense that something's gone off the rails. Certainly we see in the resulting 2,000 years that not everything worked out great. We haven't achieved heaven on earth. But then again, if we return to the text that we have to work from, the origin of these stories that we find near and dear to our heart, we say that that wasn't exactly the promise, that that wasn't Jesus' expectation for the results of his work, that there was a little more complicated story to come through. It is, as that initial lecture scene in the movie starts out, the quest of this movie And the quest for a lot of us, I think, on our healing journey of spiritual renewal that leads us to come to Unity Church among other places and other spiritual outlets, rather than certainly a lot of others that are on offer in the marketplace of religious ideas, is that we're looking for sifting through historical distortions to find original truth, in the words of the protagonist. A lot of times we're looking for some kind of a new idea, thinking that because it is new in and of itself, it's going to be better or truer. But we also perhaps have that question of what if it's the older idea that has the authenticity behind it. The tension between what we've been told and the counter-narrative, and trying to decide where those things apply and which one is the key that's going to unlock that thing that we are looking for. The connective experience that's going to put us into alignment with greater power, with deeper resonance, with the healing that we sense is just out there if we could just get out of our way and eliminate whatever those blockages are. And the question is orthodoxy actually the heresy? For me, I've been reflecting a lot on this in returning to some of the Unity classic texts. Emily Cady came to my aid in this, thinking about faith and her differentiation in her Lessons in Truth, a classic of New Thought Christianity, to think about child faith versus adult faith, the unknowing faith versus knowing faith. Faith is, as it were, a ray of light shot from the central sun, God, one end of which rays comes into your being and mine through the open door of intuition. And then she explains that there's a blind faith to be sure, and that someone has truthfully said that blind faith is better than none at all. If held to, it will get its eyes open after a time. There's also an understanding faith. Blind faith is an instinctive trust in a power higher than ourselves. Understanding faith is based on immutable principle. What appealed to me about Unity that brought me here is that I find it to be a community of people who are trying to strive for or strive towards the more adult faith, the mature faith, the understanding faith. Certainly to someone with intellectual inclinations, that's the kind of reality we have to face. There's clearly something wrong. You can't just take the outside authority as given. You need to be circumspect. You need to be discerning and interrogate the things that you've been given, because not everything that we were given as children and coming up in the world is true. Not everything that we're being offered in this moment now as adults is true. The discernment muscle must constantly be exercised. And what I find here is that there is a very strong affirmation of the truth that you know you have access in every moment to a ground line, a live wire of truth, by sinking down into your intuitive self, by accepting the speaking of your heart. That doesn't mean you're going to be 100% right all the time, or that you're going to know the answer to every one of your problems, or see through every BS that's offered to you. But it does assure you that what is true and most important is accessible to you. That you have what you need in this time, that is a truth of our being that we can reaffirm, that we can seek together with others who can help affirm that for us when we're not quite so strong in our understanding. And that by doing that over and over again, we find out what it is that we need to do and to unfold. And I affirm that that is, in fact, the mission of humanity on earth with our brother, teacher, way shower, that somehow is an emanation from the divine source. Whatever else we want to argue about with theology, that to me is one of the kernels of why I come to a Christian spiritual institution that has its eyes and doors open to understand a wider world. That much makes sense to me. It's really easy to be the rebel rather than the king. And what I mean by that is to nurture resentments about how the people in charge are doing things wrong, rather than finding your own, being accountable to your own actions and your own experience. Rejecting that victim mentality where you can gripe and not do the work, just stay in that emotional space of being in rebellion. Feels good. It's nice to nurse a resentment because there's no demand. That child faith that Katie refers to can be the kind of religious faith that we were raised in, or that we could find if we walk across town to other outlets, where authority is external and inherited, where somebody else is deciding the truth, where someone else is responsible for growth and development, where the dogma of what we've been taught is the end-all be-all of accountability. To me, this sounds very much like the story of a lot of the gospel material where Jesus is discussing how the law, rather than being abolished, is fulfilled within freedom. This is why this is the message that resonates for me, is that it's not about, well, you do this and you're okay. You don't do that and you'll be okay. We have to assume a certain form of spiritual adulthood and maturity in order to walk this particular path, where there is an affirmation that the central sun of that inner authority we're on one end of that ray and the creator's source is at the other end. Using our own intuition and knowing, that's where the authority comes from. That we own it directly, making sure that we can align with the principles that we've been taught, rather than just following rules blindly. We're responsible for what comes out of us. And of course, that leaves us with the accountability piece of having integrity, that direct knowing. An understanding faith is rooted in purpose in a way that simply following orders can never be. The pieces in Da Vinci Code that a lot of the plot revolves around is a notion that Sophie, the co-protagonist with our professor friend, who's seeing all the secret symbols and unraveling the codes, finding the truth that will set them finally free. This is all predicated on the idea that because there has been wrong done in the name of the traditional church, the answer is somehow something else that is also on this earthly plane. It's a false Gnosticism. One of the criticisms, which I know some of you have done a little roundabout on this, is that these are Gnostic themes and therefore they should be excluded because they don't fit with orthodoxy. We've gone into more depth than that in our Monday night classes. We don't have enough bandwidth to do it on a Sunday service because they're deep held things. We sense something's not right, and it takes a lot of work for us to peel through the layers of what it is that's bothering us before we can think through facts on it. Some of the facts, a central fact of the film is that we're looking for the final resting place of Mary Magdalene, that it's an unknown and lost thing, and if only we could find it, then we could nail the church to the ground for all the wrong it's done, and we could liberate the oppressed. That is literally one of the engines of the plot action. And it is something that appeals to us because we know that there is wrong done in the world in the name of Jesus Christ. and by the institutions which carry that name. Part of my project is always to reclaim our authority to say that this is my tradition. This is part of where I'm coming from. And when I look back at this with discernment, and when I'm doing my work to let go of my resentments, I'm able to find tools that help me go further with that. When I don't look at it, when I just accept the rebellion posture, I don't have to do any work. I can just stay mad. And that doesn't help me grow as a person. And it doesn't give me the tools I need to fight evil, what I perceive in the world. And to make claims to say, you don't have the authority to do this evil in the world. This is a liberating message. There is spiritual power for each one of us, affirming what the man said. I and the Father are one. That is greater things than this will all of you do. As a matter of fact, if anyone is unclear on it, the resting place of Mary Magdalene is the south of France, as far as anyone knows. This is her reliquary. That's her skull and sort of this astronaut thing. It's not a mystery. Or rather, it is a mystery. It's part of the pomp and circumstance of this sort of pagan folk Catholicism, which I don't have much connection to, but it's very appealing to me in that like smells and bells kind of pageantry, which I know resonates with some of us. Although most of us are maybe tumble-down Protestants here, which are very intellectual rather than the embodiment of going on a parade through the street with the bones of a special person. Although many of us come from places where we have sat in the presence of holy people from different traditions and know that there's something embodied about the aura, that people are able to bring down energy, people are able to create spaces for emotional unlocking, that our bodies can change, that magic is real, more or less, right? And so holding space for the tension of the spiritual world and the spiritual walk, what I love about this community, that we're able to have questions and that we're able to also seek truth and not dwell in the illusions of our little storylines that help us stay the same. Yeah. Breath and lecture us for the rest. There's a deep movie. There's a lot of little points. But the one piece that impressed me most as a young person when I first read the book and when the movie was first available was this piece with Leonardo da Vinci, right? Like a little sleight of hand going on and the secret codes to uncover. Love that stuff. So Jesus is the Last Supper in Leonardo's mural, right? And if you could just transpose this figure on the left. Oh, it's resting right on the shoulder of the Lord. There's something strange and mysterious that's been hidden from us, right? This was a revelation to so many. And it's a great, exercise. Da Vinci clearly had some sort of intentions behind this. He was a genius and a great artist. And it resonated in my thought as I was doing this talk, how often artists use lies to tell the truth, whereas politicians use truth to cover it up. Right? We already know from the gospel text that someone was leaning on the lap of the Lord at the Last Supper. It's already there. There's no mystery about that piece. It's identified as John, the disciple whom the Lord loved. So in the notes that Da Vinci left for his painting, that's who that person is. And that's why it works this way. And as you see, other artists were just, they weren't trying to be sneaky about it. There it is, depicting from the gospel text. Here's the disciple leaning on the Lord. The problem isn't, the secret of who the relationships are. The problem is our cultural problem of we're not in touch with our bodies, and it's weird to think about these figures from our religious life being people, having feelings, and makes us have a difficult time having feelings. We think that we're just supposed to be floating heads that are pure and aesthetic. Rather than doing the work of like, hey, we're here for a reason on earth. We've been given all of creation to enjoy. That's a cultural problem. When you go back to the Gospels, you can find tools to liberate and to find affirmation of nature, affirmation of women, liberation of women and the oppressed is very much a gospel tradition. It's ridiculous to say, well, that says here that we're going to run empire on these bases. Empire is the enemy. This vibration and force that wants to divorce us from the truth that we are already whole, perfect, and connected both to each other and to the greater fabric of a living cosmos, running on spirit. That's going to take whatever form it needs to in order to trick us and to do its work of separating us from that truth. Time and again, when I do the work of committing to being a worker in this tradition, someone who is recognized by wonderful people to say, here is a teacher, here is a preacher, put him on the stage, let him do what works for him because we get a benefit out of it. I return and I find that there's more there, that there's more to uphold these principles that I find handed down to me from some people I trust, i.e. the Fillmores, Emily Cady, time-tested principles that point us in a direction. It's not the entire journey laid out. It's not even an entire map, but there are some compass points. So it's a pleasure to be able to serve that role for you, with you, and to receive in kind from those who are similarly gifted. Da Vinci Code itself ends up mining an energy that we know is very real. I think that growing into spiritual adulthood is to recognize that some of these questions already answered. Again, in Matthew, at the tomb scene, this came very clearly. As we're looking for a tomb, hunting through Europe for these clues, it's like when the disciples came, when Mary Magdalene, on the Sabbath day, came to see the tomb. She sees an angel who says, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here because he's been raised." What is the Da Vinci Code but a search, again, on the earthly plane for this spiritual thing that we're seeking? We know that it's not here. In a way, this whole scavenger hunt, escape room adventure is a distraction from that, promising that will liberate the oppressed if only you forget the truth. He is not here, for he has been raised. I'm going to invite us to close this out, rather than draw us further in, to become still, to make friends with our bodies in this moment, with our nervous systems, knowing that that is the first piece we have to do whenever we want to go deeper, is to feel safe enough, grounded enough, and secure enough that we're not worried that we're in danger. Know that asking questions is allowed. We can do it without losing our lives. To affirm that this quest is actually what will bring us deeper into the life we seek. The trick for this is to breathe in for 4 beats. To breathe out slightly longer for 6 beats. Letting our body invite you to keep going with that as I read the words of a German mystic, Angelus Silesius. Because here in Unity, we may be heretics, we may be orthodox, but we are, above all things, affirming the truth, the mystics. Christian, dost thou demand to know where God hath set his throne? Even there within thyself, where he gives birth to thee, his Son. Though Jesus Christ in Bethlehem 1,000 times his mother bore, is he not born again in thee? Then thou art lost forever. In vain the cross on Golgotha was raised. Thou hast not any part in its deliverance unless be raised up within thy heart. Nothing external to thee, man, can give thee worth or dignity. Fine harness maketh not the horse, nor clothes the man's virility. My Christian, whither runnest thou? All heaven within thy heart doth wait. Why dost thou seek to find it then? By knocking at another's gate. Ourselves to close and focus before we move on to service. Bringing our attention to focus, a little piece, the 12-step tradition, another tradition that many of us have experience in. God, I have a resentment towards church authority I have received. Help me show the same tolerance, pity, and patience that I would cheerfully grant a sick friend. Help me to avoid retaliation, argument, and release this grudge, that I may see clearly and speak powerfully from the root of my being, which is in the source. Regardless of whatever others may tell me, I know I rest in spirit. Amen. Now, as we turn to consider the gifts we receive and that we give, the spiritual nourishment that grows from us, springs from us, travels through the world to circulate and return. I invite you to come up and accept these tokens of our spiritual nourishment in the form of these little pieces of paper here at the front with slogan written on them. So please do come. If you feel moved to leave a gift of treasure and in the offering plate, please do so as well, but do come and receive a little spiritual nourishment. Before we do that, as Sally will play us through, rub your hands together, get that embodied feeling, a little bit of our ritual and flair, saying, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, you are my source. Turning our thoughts towards the young people in our lives and around the world, certainly radiating from this center outwards. Take care. We bless our youth and see them empowered and connected to their community, to their Creator, and always guided by the loving Christ light within. We have inclusive, inspired youth and family ministry. I invite you to rise as we say our benediction and send ourselves forth back out into the world. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the